Was there an artist that you wanted to choose?
Since we did talk about this band quite often on Telegram, why not we tried Nightwish?
I had a feeling you were gonna say that, and
This will be a very much fun one because the fact we love this, but obviously it's one of those bands that would give everybody who listens to them lead singer whiplash,
mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Let me just make sure this has all of them. I believe it does. Um. All right. Let's switch back over, and here we are. And there's no F tier for this one.
Thank God. There's no album by Nightwish deserves to be near the bottom.
Agreed.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun one to do.
All right. Now I'm trying to remember the proper order. I know this one's the first one, so let's get right into it.
Yep. Angels Fall First, their 1997 debut album, which honestly is the only time where there was only four of them.
There was only four of them?
Yeah, this album was rich. This was before they got their first bassist because guitarist Empu actually not only did guitar, he also did bass for this album as well.
Hmm.
And this is where they started. This is their most folky kind of album until they did much later when Annette came in. But this is not a bad album to start, but it's not their best.
Yeah, I don't have too many memorable moments of this album, honestly. But that being said, it's still not a bad album.
It's got some good gems on it to me. It's got the awesome opening track of Elven Path, amazing duet of Beauty and the Beast, which is between Taria and Tumas. This is the only album where Tumas sings on. Like,
oh, yeah, oh, that's right, because this was before Marco joined.
Yeah, this is way before Marco joined.
I think he was still involved with that other band he was in.
Taro.
Yeah, Taro.
I mean, there's also The Carpenter, which took me the longest time to get into. It also has Tutankhamun, Why the Nightingale Sings. And honestly, this is probably one of their weaker efforts, but it's a solid effort. But so I'd probably say a C tier album.
All right, so Angels Fall. When Angels Fall goes for what is it again? Angels Fall first. Sorry. Going in the C tier. Which one comes next? Is it Oceanborn?
That would be Oceanborn, their 1998 effort, which introduced more. This is where they went more symphonic power metal direction with the speedy keyboards and the fast riffs. And this is where Taria started to show off a lot more of her range, and she got much better as a singer.
This is a damn good album.
It is a solid album. This would be near the top for me, but this would be an A tier because this is one of the defining moments of the band. This is what broke them through, not only in Finland but around the world. It's where a lot of people got the notice. This is where I feel like sonic metal really took off, was because of this.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And a lot of acts would follow, like with the Temptation and Epica, whom Simone Simmons has actually said if it wasn't for this album, she would not be a metal singer.
Oh yeah, I wonder what got her her ex-girlfriend, I mean ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance, their guitar.
Hansen?
Yeah, Mark.
Honestly,
yeah.
I don't know,
because he started out in a I believe in a death metal band before transitioning over to the more symphonic stuff.
That's true. But I need to go back. I need to go back and listen to Epica sometime because they're coming up with a new album later this year.
Yep, and I believe they're named after a Camelot album.
Yes, they are.
As they were originally called Sahara Desert.
Yep, it was done before Simone joined.
Yes, that was with I think that was when Simone and Mark were dating at the time.
Yes.
That's when they brought her in.
Pretty much.
So Oceanborn, we're agreeing with A.
Hey, we're going with A.
Next up is this album, I think.
The next one is they're literally 2 years later, Wishmaster.
The Wishmaster.
This is it's basically a continuation of what happened of Oceanborn, But honestly, I still prefer Oceanborn over this one. But it still has a lot of great songs on this one. It's got the title track, "She's My Sin," "Fantasmic," which is honestly a pretty cool song about Disney.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah,
I forgot about that one. I'll have to go back and listen to that one.
Oh, it's one of my favorite Nightwish songs. It's really good. I probably would put this one as a B tier album.
B tier?
I mean, there's some songs in here I don't go back to, but there's some really good ones. And I think the best song on that album to me is actually in my top 5, which is Dead Boys Poem.
Now, was this the album that introduced Marco, or would that be the next one?
This is the next one would be the introduction of Marco.
Okay.
Which is Century Child.
So let's get right into that one. They do a fantastic cover of Phantom of the Opera on this one.
Oh, yeah, this one I feel has got to be an S tier because this is like a huge fan favorite amongst the community.
S tier,
because
it is
because it feels like this is where they ditched the power metal sound they had previously. It went more for a slightly more gothic, darker feel, which you can hear on songs like "Bless the Child," "Slaying the Dreamer," "End of All Hope," and "The Beauty of the Beast." Every song on here is a gem. It feels like if they want to do an anniversary concert, just do the whole entire album.
Agreed. This is an absolutely god tier album. Every song on here is just like all killer, no filler.
What do you feel is the best song on the album?
Bless the Child.
Oh, my favorite on this one is "Slaying the Dreamer." I've read the biography of how that song came along. It came along when a random person attacked Tumas in a and said his lyrics were shit.
Oh.
So yeah, this is basically his FU song to them. And I'm like, damn, that's inspiration right there. Almost get your ass kicked, and you come up with one of the heaviest Nightwish songs ever.
Well, that's a good diss track right there.
It is a really good diss track. I mean, they do another one, a couple more later on, but we get to the one that honestly broke them out worldwide.
And that is Once. And this was my second Nightwish album. We'll get to my first one.
This is my first one. This is, if you think of quintessential Taria albums for a lot of people around the world, this is the quintessential Taria album.
To me, this is also an S tier. This is an S tier. This is an amazingly good album.
I mean, every song on here is amazing, completely unskippable. The story with this album for me is the fact I have never heard this band before. I saw it at a CD store. I bought it. It looked cool. Put it in, and I've been a fan of Nightwish ever since 2004.
Dark Chest of Wonders is a solid opener.
Yes, it is. Just with the nice light keys, and it hits that first riff, and it just punches you in the face.
Yep. By the way, you know the song "Wish I Had an Angel"? Did you know that song? Did you know that song is featured on an Uwe Boll movie called "Alone in the Dark"? Yeah.
And sadly, he also did the music video, which is like the only good thing he's ever directed.
Wait, he did the music video?
Yes, he did.
God damn.
He actually did a decent job on a music video, which kind of surprised me. I'm like, why didn't he become a music video director instead? He would have been better that way.
He would have been up there with the greats, like Jonas Åkerlund.
But no, he had to butt rape a lot of classic video game movies. Yeesh.
And he had to box his critics.
Oh, yeah. And sadly, for a lot of people, this was the final album with Tarja Turunen because of personal and musical differences between her and the band. So she got a letter saying, "Get out."
Yeah, I think she was fired by management.
She was fired by management. I think I remember right. All 4 of the guys wrote a letter to her saying that your attitude has changed. You're not seeing eye to eye with us anymore. So you can't be in the band anymore. So you're kind of gone.
Gotcha.
Which is also kind of funny because the fact there were reports that Tarja was talking about leaving the band after Once.
So she was going to leave regardless.
Yes, she was.
I think she would have been like, okay, I'm good. Okay, have fun.
Pretty much.
But I'm really glad they're on lighter terms. That they're on better terms now.
Yes, they are. Especially with Marco and Tumas are on better terms with her. It's heartwarming. It's just good because I know Martaria and Marco did a Christmas concert together.
When?
I think last year, I believe, they sung Ave Maria together.
Oh, shit.
And my girlfriend got the Christmas album, which is from the album. It's a Christmas group called Raskila Adlua, which is a Christmas album they do with every year. They get like the biggest band, Finnish singers around to do it. They get familiar names like obviously like Marco. They get JP from Dark Sarah.
Ooh.
Tony Kakko from Sonata Arctica.
Ooh.
And they've recently been adding more other outside acts or singers from outside Finland to come in, like Flor Jensen, and get this, Elise Reed from Amaranth.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. They even released an English album called Ragnarok Yuletide, which I think is on iTunes, and I say check it out when you get the chance. It's actually a pretty good Christmas album.
Yeah. Alpha's like, I really like how there's not one bad or meh album from this list. There's no such there was no such thing as a bad Nightwish album.
No. Okay, the next one.
This was my first Nightwish album, Dark Passion Play.
The first one with Annette Olsen, and honestly, this is one of my top 3 in terms of Nightwish albums. This is my 3rd favorite because I feel like the Annette era for me, it was the best between the dynamic between the lead singer and Marco.
Mm-hmm.
Marco got to shine just as much. And this was a good album to start with. I mean, it opens up with probably the best song they ever done, which is The Poe and the Pendulum.
Oh yeah, that's a damn good song.
Just the fact that it's about Tomas's turmoil after what happened with Taria, and how he almost felt like ending his own life. He has gone record saying this is the album that saved his life.
Wow. Admittedly, as much as I love this album, it also features my least favorite song on the album. That is Bye Bye Beautiful. Merely because...
Yeah, I understand. I remember the last time we talked about that. I understand it. It's a catchy song. It's just with the lyrics, obviously, how they felt about Taria at the time.
It just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, honestly.
Understandable. And also, not to mention about this, also features their most popular song ever,
Amaranth.
Yep.
Oh, but my personal favorite on the album, 7 Days to the Wolves. In my opinion, this is
I wonder why.
Yes, that song made me into a furry. Fight me.
And the funny thing is, get this. I read this is from True Story. Out of all the Nightwish songs that Flor Jensen had to learn when she became a member of the band, Amaranth was the hardest for her to sing.
Really?
Yeah, because of its popish sound, and she's not used to that. She had to learn how to sing it her way without going too off. And also, this song has one of the first times Marco sang lead.
Oh yeah, that was the Islander.
Oh,
I love it. I love it when they perform that.
Oh, have you seen the one in Tampere where he came out on stage and he had like a double neck guitar?
Yes,
and a bass?
I love that one.
That is the best live version of the song I have ever heard.
I showed my mom to that, and she was a huge fan of it.
Oh god,
she was like, "Why are they speaking Finnish then singing in English?" I'm like, "They're in Finland. It's kind of commonplace."
And so yeah, I agree. This is actually one of their better, but this is one of my top personal albums because it being the second album I ever listened to from them.
Yeah,
and honestly, this is nothing compared to what I feel is their magnum opus and the best album they did with Annette Olsen, and that is Imaginarum. This is immediately S tier for me.
I would definitely rank this. I wouldn't say it's an S tier, but I would definitely rank this above maybe their first album. I mean, not their first.
Oceanborn, my opinion. Oceanborn. Yeah, it's better than Oceanborn. If it'll fit that way.
There we go. High A.
It's like definitely. This is the one I feel is the best one they ever. It's the fact of it being a concept album. I love the opening with its little toy box, with Marco singing in Finnish, and it kicks off into probably the catchiest song that ever freaking made their life. That gets stuck in your head for days. Story Time.
Yep, Story Time is just.
I can't skip a song on this album. I have this. I have.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's just put it in S tier.
Fuck it, let's put it up there because I have. I'm not gonna lie, Felix. I have multiple versions of this album.
Multiple.
I have it. I have the 2 CD version. I have the European. I forget what it's called. The tour edition. I have this on vinyl. And I have the soundtrack, which goes with the movie it's paired up with.
So what did you think? I never saw the movie. Is it any good?
It's actually pretty good. It's actually not that bad. It's got a good story. It's got some really good, awesome visuals to it. And you actually see the band members playing minor characters in the film, with the exception of Tumas, who plays a younger version of the main character. And he doesn't say a lot in the film, but he gives a really good damn emotional performance. But for highlights of this album, I can't say anything bad. It's that damn good. You got Storytime, Ghost River, Let Loose the Mermaids, and probably one of the weirdest yet interesting songs they ever done, which is Slow Love Slow. Yeah, it's kind of more of a jazzy feel to it.
Yeah. I definitely think this is their best album with Annette, even though Annette isn't exactly my favorite vocalist of the band. She definitely pulled it out here.
Yes, she did. And it's sadly had to end badly with this one too, because the fact that she was getting sick all the time, she couldn't make any shows, she was pregnant, and they were thinking about hiring a secondary, singer to take her place for a while, and she felt threatened, so she just was like, you know what, screw it, I'm done.
Now, if this particular album was on here, and I'm kind of cheating with this one because it's a live album, but if I could, I would put Storytime Live and S tier, like above these 3 albums.
Showtime Storytime, yes.
Yep, Showtime Storytime. That would have made like the top tier S tier list, because that's my favorite. That is one of my favorite live albums, if not my absolute favorite live album ever.
Mine too, because the fact that even though it's from the Imaginarium tour, Floor nails every single song that's given to her, and she makes it her way, especially with Ghost Love Score. Oh my god.
Yes.
And I might make you jealous, but I had the privilege of seeing them perform that live back in 2016 in Seattle.
Well, I saw them perform it back in 2015. So yeah, it was absolutely fucking amazing, and it was during the tour of Endless Forms Most Beautiful.
This, honestly, if I were going to be honest, this is actually my second favorite album from them, because I love the idea of it's kind of like a biology album in music form in a way.
So would you say this is also an S tier album or an A tier?
Oh god, I gotta go with S on this one. I'm sorry, this is
like lower S tier.
Oh, S, yeah, go lower.
Yeah,
S. This is honestly a really good album for Floor to shine on. Every song she does is really good.
I really regret not putting this album on my top 5 metal albums list. I only made it an honorable mention, but after going back and listening to it, it should have been number 2, at least number 2, if not for the fact that Earthside's A Dream in Static came out that same year.
And of course, we have to talk about the biggest song they ever done, like literally the biggest song, because this song's almost 25 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
The Greatest Show on Earth.
That was an amazingly good performance. I mean, good song.
It blows your mind to think that how could they pull off something like that, and then they did. It tells a story of how the world about the world, and it's like you can just go to sleep and listen to the song, and you can just visualize everything that's going on. I can't stop gushing about this album. It makes me want to go back and to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. So, and also Floor Jansen. She's become my favorite female vocalist ever.
She's mine too. She is the premier female metal singer because of the fact her range is so diverse.
It's so godlike.
She can belt, she can growl, she can just do opera. It's ridiculous how she is. I think she is the best Nightwish singer by far.
Agreed. And that comes to the latest Nightwish album that came out this year, Human Nature.
And honestly, this is the album that's taken me the longest time to like.
Really?
Because honestly, I have gone back to it, listened to it multiple times, and it has grown on me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love a lot of the themes of this album, especially with Noise, for example, which talks about how technology is interfering with our lives and making us obsessed and not as social. The video for that is totally screwed up. Like how you're all bright and cheery on a little digital screen, and you're like a total jerk in real life. You're like the complete opposite of what you are pretending to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, this, and also the fact this is the first album without their longtime drummer Uka, who at the time, I believe before this album, he left the band because he's been battling insomnia for such a long time. Well, the last album didn't have him either. It had Kai Haito from Winter Sun.
Right.
And this is his Kai's album first as official members.
Yeah.
So I feel the only problem I have with this album, it's a nitpick. Not enough Marco.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because Marco always sings lead on one song. You barely even notice him.
Would you say it's like a A tier or B tier?
I'd probably say a low A. It's actually I actually like it.
Okay.
It's grown me a lot.
Let's see. Question from Alpha. In listening to these albums, was there ever a song or two you heard and didn't like or wasn't feeling, and you skipped it and went on to the next song, or have you heard every single song? For me, that song is Bye Bye Beautiful, off of the Dark Passion Play album. That's the only song I ever really skip. Other than that,
feeling. I'm gonna be honest here. The only song I would skip on any of these albums, believe it or not, is on Dark Passion Play. It's not Bye Bye Beautiful. It's the other diss track on the album, Master Passion Greed. I used to hate that song a lot because it didn't sound like a Nightwish song to me. It sounded too angry.
Like, what was that? What was that diss towards?
It was towards Taria's husband.
Damn, going off on all cylinders. Jesus.
Well, honestly, listening to it again, I get why. It's honestly a better track than Bye Bye Beautiful, but not by much.
Right.
So yeah, that would be the single I probably would. I used to skip a lot, but not anymore. So that's pretty much the tier list for Nightwish, because they take a long time to make these albums. I mean, the biggest gap between Endless and Human Nature was like 5 years.
Mm-hmm. When did Imaginarium come out? 2011?
I think, depending on where you are, it came out in Europe in 2011, but it came out in the States in January 2012.
All right. And
about a month.
So roughly a 4-year gap.
Pretty much.
And Dark Passion Play, that came out in 2007, right?
2007.
I thought so.
Because it had their longest tour, I believe, which was the Dark Passion Way, which went from 2007 to 2009, 2010, I think.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much. I think the smallest gap they ever did with any of these albums, I believe, was Angels and Oceanborn, which is literally a year apart.
Oh, wow.
So they pretty much refined their sound since then, but honestly, I'm glad they're still going the way they are, and I can't wait. I'm interested to see what they're going to do next. Either it's another live album or not.
Yeah. Once this pandemic is over.
Oh, tell me about it. This thing is...
All right, so...
If it was the freaking pandemic, I'd be flying down there to their concerts.
All right, so in S tier, we have... I'm trying to remember the name of this one.
Century Child.
Century Child, thank you. It's so hard to read. It's like very tiny. Once, Imaginarium, and Endless Form's Most Beautiful in S tier. In A tier, we have Oceanborn, Dark Passion Play, Human Nature. In B tier, we have Wishmaster. And in C tier, we have Angels Fall First. Do you agree with that?
I actually agree with every single entry on this one. I actually do.
Okay.
Far across the sea, o'er the burning sky.